Yeah. How long have you been living there?
Like 3 years.
So y'all out the city in a
Out the
farm.
city. We're It's so cool because we're so close. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
when Mikey came and visited, I mean, I'm like 70 minutes, like not even
Oh.
an hour and a half, like right into the
Mm-hmm.
city. You could take the train or you could drive, and so I could still have that urban touch if I need it. But it's been absolutely incredible. Like, the beach is a 10-minute bike ride.
The
um
beach.
like the ocean, the ocean,
Okay.
like we're at the ocean like all the
I
time.
always
Like,
forget about that. East Coast has an ocean. I always
you're
think
like,
about.
wait, that beach? Yes, the other beach. That's pretty cold. Pretty
Right.
cold waters, but yeah,
Cold, deep waters.
cold.
Shoot, well, we are live, y'all.
Hi,
And
everybody.
if y'all are just tuning in, this is Feel Free Conversations. And James, I think we said last episode was 21, but I think we actually had 23.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I want to make
I
sure we
can
have the
feel it.
right count on this episode because last week we were like 21 and it was exciting, but I think we're at 23.
You get it.
But
All right. Let's call it 23.
I'm Mike Brown. This is James Woods, James that yoga dude Woods, aka James Feel Free. And today we have a special guest in the building, the founder of Rebranding Motherhood, Tina Cartwright.
Hey.
Hi, y'all. Hey, happy
I wish I had a
Friday.
sound effects like a da, da, da,
I
da,
know, right? We'll add it in
Post
post production. We'll throw
da.
that back
Right.
in the studio.
Oh
production.
man, Tina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, honestly. I'm doing much better now that I'm here. I was like a little funky, a little crunk. It's like the time I'm at in my cycle. Sorry, y'all. You didn't know you'd get some reproductive health on this
Nah, that's
live stream
fair.
today, did
That's
you?
life.
But
Yeah.
here
That's
you
life.
are. And so I'm like, this is normal, but I'm happy. This is like so good. I'm so excited to get to chop it up with y'all and just like hang out. So 10 out of 10. Last day of school,
Oh,
Okay.
almost.
okay.
We're doing last day of school. I did like a little interview. Wait till you see it, Mike. You'll love it. I like sat Caleb down and I was like, how do you feel about today? And I was like, this should be like a tradition.
Yeah.
Last day of school every year. Like, how do we let's reflect. How do you feel?
I think that's dope. I definitely
That
think
is dope.
more parents should be like creating with their kids and just teaching them early, like teaching them these skills early. So, if she decides 10 years from now, 20 years from now, like, hey, I want to do this, like,
Yeah.
you got all the skills for it. And you
She
probably
wants
build the
it.
audience by then.
Right? I'm like, I'll never forget what you said that one time, and you're right. It's like, start now, because
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be their that's gonna be the way they communicate in the future. Like, even if you don't
Yeah.
make money off of it, like,
Right.
you're gonna be like doing commerce and social, you're gonna be communicating in social, like, that's the future. So I'd rather like be a part of that learning journey.
It would be dope if they had like if your kids had a show under the rebranding motherhood umbrella. That
Yeah,
would
they
be
definitely
fire.
should.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
love
That would be fire.
it. Oh, I love that idea, Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Yep, we're
And
doing
Oh
that.
kids,
man.
kids now. I remember. I feel old, but I remember when we had the option of getting on Facebook and we could use our college,
Yes.
email. But now kids don't even have the option. They have to be on social media. Like you said, it's another way for them to express. It's another way for them to connect
Mm.
and create income and create relationships. Like kids have to have a social relationship online, and they have to learn how to do it appropriately and
Yes.
respect themselves on there. So yeah, them to have their own show, that would be dope. Don't Two Chains got a show with his son or something like that,
He
right?
did.
Oh
He
yeah,
did,
was
and
that on
it
Vox?
was really
Not
dope.
Vox. Vox. What was it?
No, it was on YouTube, but it was really
YouTube.
dope. Yeah,
Oh, I
really
gotta check
dope
that
show.
out. I gotta check
That's
that
a
out. I love that concept. Oh my god, I love that concept because,
Yeah.
um, okay, you got my wheels
how
like flying now.
how
All
many
right,
kids do you have?
two,
Two kids, a son
is
and a daughter.
two girls,
Two girls.
two
Are they
girls. So,
anything like you?
oh my gosh, my youngest is me, Zuri Quinn. She's a wrecking ball, like my little twin. She's fearless, doesn't give a rip, super, super tough and strong. Like, she's just a beast, like a little beast, you know, and she's just hilarious. She loves to crack jokes. She's a comedian, like full on timing,
Oh
like
wow.
and eye contact and like gestures. It's crazy. Like she's got a tight 2 minutes, y'all. She's got a tight two
That's
minute set and it's
hilarious.
pretty good. And then Kayla is a lot like me, but very reserved still. Like she's more
Hmm.
introverted,
Hmm.
but still has like I can see her little dance moves now. Like she has her own little like dance that she like kind of does, and like she's a vibe too. But yeah, they're very much me, but very much Nate too,
That's interesting.
which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy to see it. The mix.
it is. I remember. So, uh, I've been in my girlfriend's son's life for like 4 years now, and he's
Wow.
7.
Wow.
Um, and so yeah, sometimes I'll see some of the things that I do within him, and it's like, oh wow, it can be scary sometimes. Like, oh man, I know exactly where you got that from,
Right?
and I know exactly why you do that, and don't do that because I'm trying not to do that right now. So
Right? Oh, I
let's
love
do
that. Okay,
something
so can
different.
you tell us more about that, James? So like I mean, sorry, can we? What's the agenda for today? Are we chatting? Did you guys have certain things you wanted to get into? I don't want
We
to
just flowing.
derail.
Oh,
I think before we start, we could let James guide us through 3 breaths,
Cool.
oh yeah, let's do that. I
and
forgot
then we
about
just
that.
flow. Like I had a couple of questions written out, but I would love to just like flow through conversation also.
Cool.
All right. Oh, let's sit up nice and tall and relax the shoulders. Get grounded. Let your feet kind of relax. Let your arms relax. Let your face relax. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. I mean, deep, deep breaths. We are going to breathe all the way down into our belly. We're going to breathe into the spaces in our mind that need to be cleared, that need to be shaken up, released, opened. We're going to breathe as if we are the Lakers about to win the championship. We're going to take a deep, I had to slide it in there. All right, on the count of 3, we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Let's breathe in. And then exhale slowly, letting it go. Let's take 2 more of those. Soften the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale here. Feel the belly, feel the back, feel the lungs. And then a slow, long exhale. Nice. Yeah, just checking in with yourself and rolling out, shaking out. Ugh. Thank you, Mike. I needed that.
Same.
Thank you. You did it.
Thank you.
Oh man. But yeah, we just flowing today. I did have a question for you to start just because I know you are a mother, a wife, an advocate for other mothers. And I just wanted to know, how do you still have time for Tina?
Yeah. Oof. Well, it's a battle every day, I think, with myself and the world around me, but I think I have to kind of demand it. I just read something the other day that I thought was so profound, which was I have to do it despite the guilt. I've released the shame through working on my mental health, working on like we were talking before we started filming, like being in nature, where I live, what I do day to day, how I like connect back with myself. But I still feel guilt. I mean, like that doesn't go away. Like it doesn't feel. I never really. And then that adds as a mom of like, okay, well, the babies literally break down crying, telling me they're gonna like perish because I'm walking away. Then what? I mean, you still have. I mean, the guilt just like can triple. But I do it despite the guilt. I work through that and like just make the time because I know that you guys got on this call, you're like, Tina, you're still Tina from college. Like that light doesn't burn. And that's the light that I feel most connected to. That's the light that helps me be a creator. That's the light that lets me do all the lovely things that like make me me. So I just have to demand it and require it in my day and my life.
Yeah. It's have you found new ways to be Tina since becoming a mom?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Like I've had to find ways how to do that with the kids because I'm with them all the time. So how can I like creatively express like alongside of them, in connection with them? So we love to do a lot of art. We love to go like on a hike and just explore. One of the things we really love to do that y'all will appreciate is we love to freestyle. So we love to do freestyle
And
stories, and we like will make up storylines, and then like some of them have to rhyme, some of them don't. Sometimes we get like, you know like requests to be a rhyme like in the midst of it, and so it just keeps our brains like, moving and melding, and it's been fun to rediscover, honestly, James. Like it's been so fun to like find new ways to connect in and explore and experience new parts of myself that I just didn't
Mhm.
know were in there, under the surface.
That's dope. How's it changed Tina the daughter? Like, how's it now with the relationship with your mom and your dad?
Oh my gosh, good question. So I have an estranged relationship with my parents. So
Oh, for real?
yeah, I'm not in contact with them at all. It's just was a boundary that, between like my therapy and my work, like I just had to make for my own mental wellness and my own mental safety. And then of course, like the environment of my children. And it's been like a very hard and long journey. So like what parenthood did for me was it really solidified for me some of the trauma that I experienced as a child. And it took away some of the, well, it's just my parents, like all the kind of like coddling and like gaslighting I would do to myself, honestly, like my self
Mm-hmm,
gaslighting of like, no, that's okay, that's normal. Like, and then I start doing work and start like becoming a parent myself and really realizing the responsibility that's before me, the opportunity that I have to create a relationship with these children and what is there for me, and then to see the choices that were made by my own parents and then continued
mm-hmm.
to be made in my adulthood, like as recently as the birth of my second child. Like the choice was very simple, but it's been a grieving process. It's been a healing process. Like that's not, that's a wound that I deal with like daily. But I've been able to disconnect from it, and kind of land in this place of really being free to be myself. Like when I don't have these really loud parts in myself that were just bringing me down, frankly,
Yeah,
because of that, like trauma bonding to that experience and trauma bonding to those relationships. Like I couldn't even like become who I was meant to become, like the person you guys see now, the brand I'm building now, the opportunities I'm feeling confident to go after for myself now are because I freed myself.
yeah.
Like you say, feel free to be free. And now I feel
Right.
free to be free. And I didn't feel that for many, 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 many years.
Man,
Yeah.
like even you talking about before we got on, you talking about intentionally building a life that you want for yourself and your kids, and your ability to let go of the life that you thought you had and supposed to have. Like, oh, I'm supposed to have my grandparents, their grandparents, and things like that, and now
Yes.
I'm bringing them here and doing it. Like, what gave you the strength to be able to say, I'm going to intentionally build this life for my kids and make it work for them?
It was this love I had for them. Like I've wanted to be a mother my whole life. I think you both have known me since forever. I've always just had like a nurturing soul. I think that got amplified through my trauma. I think that's like
Mm-hmm.
normal for a lot of people that experience crazy shit. They know how to take care of and help people, but for me it's just deeper than that. Like I've just felt so connected, and then when I got to meet my beautiful children and have this like beautiful love that it was so healing and so beautiful and so magical. Like I will fucking kill somebody for that, like fuck that. Like I'm not fucking around with that. So to me, in order to rebuild and break the generational trauma of
Mm-hmm.
so many years of just really dysfunction, there was no other option. I had to do it, and I knew for myself I wanted to live a happier and different story. I knew I had a different ending that was going
Mhm.
to be written for myself. So the strength has just come from changing my mindset from like how bad can it be and how much can I withstand in the thick and the shit of it to how good can it get, and then
Mhm.
getting to experience that how good can it get a few times.
Mhm.
It's addicting, and I want more and I want more and I want more and I want more and more and more. And I just it's been absolutely beautiful. I mean, like walking down to the other side of the house and coming in and getting to this call, like listening to my husband and my daughter like watering the plants, and he's explaining to her like why the blackberries are like some of them are green and some of them are red and then they turn black, and then we get to eat them. And like Kayla the other day, like this is a crazy story. Like we had a pumpkin from Halloween. Okay, y'all, like this is real life. It rotted out on the patio. Like I mean,
Mhm.
like rotted into a liquid. I don't even. It was disgusting. We didn't do shit with it. It went through the snow, like everything. Kayla finds a seed like 3 weeks ago, a pumpkin seed. And she's like, Mommy, can I plant this? Nate and I were like tired AF. We were like through with the parenting, and we literally like looked to the side and we're like, yeah, just plant it. She knows how to plant. So she like got her
Oh wow.
spade. She like picked a spot out and dug a hole. Okay. We were like,
Wow.
whatever. When I tell you this girl, I'll send you a picture of her pumpkin plant. It has like 10 leaves. It
Oh
came
wow.
out of like this dirt. She dug it in the most obscure place. Like, this is the inspiration I'm getting like day to day. I'm
Yeah.
getting to see it, I'm getting to feel it. She's inspiring us. And so, James, for me, it's just been getting to taste some of the benefits of that intentionality, and
Mhm.
then realizing that like I have to do this because my children deserve that. I deserve that. We all deserve that. So,
That's so dope, and that makes me feel just hopeful for a lot of things because it sounds like you really um, had a transformation through love. Like
yeah,
you, the
right.
power of love and unconditional love was like, you know what, I'm going like transform your whole life,
Yeah.
going from whatever situation you came through with your parents in life. You know, because it can make people feel stuck. It can make people feel like, damn, this is life. This
Yep.
ain't nothing going on here. And then you have an experience of some unconditional love, and it transformed your whole life to where you are right now. Like
100%.
from being powerless to now having pumpkin seeds, and now your whole life is being and that's just I really appreciate hearing that because it's it's a lot of things that I would like to also transform and to understand. The most powerful transformative thing out there is love, because just watching you, I saw your face is transform, I saw your emotions transform when you talked about your kids and what you would do for your kids and how you and what you have done for your kids and for yourself and for your husband, and knowing that that is limitless, like that love can continue to transform, you know, because we talked about before we feel like we're the same people, and the only way we can become better versions of ourselves is through that love.
100%. 100%. 100%. And then, like you said, like then that love just like flex back on yourself. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then that's really where it all starts and ends, is like you loving yourself enough to realize like what you deserve for real.
Right. Right.
And then not getting caught up in the stuckedness,
Mm-hmm.
because for anyone that's listening, we can come back I could come back another time and tell you about the stuckedness that was like a 5-year long saga. It is
Yeah.
never too late to like have a glow up, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can
Mm-hmm.
literally like at any point in time, like any
Right.
age, every age, and then I hope to have like many more.
Yeah. It
America.
keeps going. It keep.
Okay. I am going to be having many more. So it doesn't stop. Doesn't stop.
Right. And it doesn't stop, and it's not based on a decision that you made previously, wherever you know whatever decisions you made or other people made decisions for you, it doesn't prohibit you from continuing to glow and grow. And you know that's something I'm continuously tell myself and remind myself, because I could be stuck. I could be stuck in, oh man, I did this, I should have did this. this should happen, that, and so uh a part of feel free is always looking for, always putting myself in environments where love can be. I feel like this is a garden episode. um
Love it.
always putting myself in environments where love can continue to grow and flourish. Like, it has to be fertile. Me being Mike's friend is a lot of fertilizer because he full of shit. No.
It's like, where is he gonna land this? Where is he gonna land this?
Nah, but Mike represents that. He continues to evolve. He continues to transform because he is continuing to search for love within himself and provide that love within his relationships. And putting myself in those positions where it's love all around helps me to pull myself out of the stuckness and continue to grow. So, as a mom, do you have other relationships and stuff, like other mom relationships and friends and circles and stuff that are growing for you?
Oh my gosh. I would say like, oh, I like totally, oh, sorry world. This is real life, okay? This is real life. Let me fix that up right there in the cam. Um yeah, I would say one of the most interesting things about becoming a parent, and you're a parent too, James. I would recommend for you, um Mikey helped me with this. We just did an interview with this amazing woman, who talks about how your brain changes,
Oh
like the
wow!
neuroscience. Like, it's amazing, and it's on Audible too. Mother
Oh
Brain. I'm
wow!
always like, because it changed my perspective. There's so much good richness that'll be good for you,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of transformation that's happening for you.
Mhm.
Even though you didn't,
Mhm.
like, birth the child or whatever, like, like you said, the child is picking up parts of you. You're
Yeah.
experiencing it, you're in this child's world, so it's changing the fabric of you and vice versa. So I highly recommend that for you, because I think it'll be very comforting, grounding, empowering, all the things.
Thank you.
But what
Thank
I
you.
would say that is so interesting is when you become a parent, it's this crazy experience where everything in your life changes. All your relationships change. Every
Mhm.
single one in your life. I don't think there's a time in your life where that happens all at once, like
Wow.
all in one hit, right?
Mhm.
Um and so, as that's happening, you're naturally kind of, redefining what a friend is, what a relationship's going to be, what a partner's
Mhm.
going to be, what a colleague needs to look like, what a healthy work environment needs to be like. All these different relationships and environments were like redefining. So I was naturally in that space, and I was suffering with postpartum depression with both of the births of after the birth of both of my children. So I was like in therapy, so I was doing a lot of the work and talking about a lot of these things. So I had like really healthy voices
Mhm.
around me during this process, thank God. But what I came to realize was I had a lot of riffraff in the side panels. Like, I had a lot of like, co-stars and B rolls and, C staff that were not serving me in
Oh
any
man.
way, shape, or form. And they were super unhealthy. And so through that process, I've been like recultivating all of these relationships super intentionally. And I literally was just saying to my husband, like, the other day, that like I really love my friends. Like, they're
Yeah.
all healthy.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean they don't have bad days. That doesn't mean they don't like we don't have disagreements or things don't
Mhm.
happen, but it's healthy because then there's repair. When we have
Mhm.
disagreements, we communicate, we tell each other the truth, we
Yeah.
support each other. I can trust them, I can count on them. And then when people break that, they are immediately cut
Yeah.
from the squad. And I am comfortable doing that. And motherhood has empowered me to just be that fucking cutthroat and not
Wow.
give a damn, because time has become my most limited and most precious resource. Okay.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
like finite and more finite, I think, as the days and the children and the number of kids come to the
Yeah.
story. And
Yeah.
so, as a result of that, I don't have time to be engaging in unpositive relationships. So yes, I've cultivated so many positive relationships. Like, one of my good friends that was like the first person to believe in me and my brand and rebranding is one of
Mhm.
my mom friends I like collected. along the way, and she's amazing. And so it's just been this beautiful experience of getting to meet all the friends I wish I could have had my whole life with me,
Hmm. Hmm.
supporting me, and then reconnecting with like friends that have been there along the way that maybe we lost track, throughout the years, and now we're
Yeah,
back and can be in each other's lives in like a really cool way. So that's been my experience.
that's super powerful. Like you said, that transformative power of love, just when you see it in other people's lives too, it brings people together. Like, okay, we've been through this process together.
Hmm.
We in this battle together. Let's connect and win it and make it happen together. That's so dope. And how long have you been married?
Oh my God. How long have we been married? So we've been together since, oh my God, this is really making me feel old world. Okay. So I believe we met on Match. Yes, Match.com, y'all. Back in 2010.
Wow.
So it's been like almost 15 years.
Dang.
That's my ride or die right there.
Yeah.
That's my
Nate
mother.
Dog.
That's my mother. Yeah, Nate Dog. Yeah, he goes by Nate Dog. And that's my fucking dude. He is right. He is my number one champion, my number one support. All my equipment I'm wearing today is compliments of the Nate Cartwright Investor Fund. Thank you for believing in your girl and what I'm trying to build here. So I've been so fortunate because that was like my first healing relationship,
Oh wow.
like really meaningful one that set me on this path that I am here. He was the catalyst. Back to your point on love, you know.
Mhm. That's so dope. So it was something in this relationship that was different, or and you were different.
Yeah, I was becoming different. It was weird because I was the old version of me that I wanted to shed, but he always saw the version of me that I am right now.
Mm.
Honest, I've never said that out loud or even thought about it like that, but he always saw me as I am now and probably where I'm gonna go in the future. And he always saw that in me, always, and like held me to that
Oh wow.
and supported me through that and just knew I could do all things. I mean, he's been telling me I should be a CEO of my own company like since we met. He's like, "You're a founder. You need to be running shit. Like, get out of
Oh,
here." So he's like my number one fan.
oh, that's so dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
At least I feel like that about him today, world. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. Okay? This is a real
Depends on the hour,
conversation.
right?
Okay, exactly. He's on good behavior this morning, so, you know.
That is dope. And when your girls go to college, when your girls go to high school and stuff, and you're talking about them being a big part of you and stuff, and having that experience, and the old Tina, how do you coach them through? Because they're going to have there's there's some old Tina in there and stuff too, but like, how do you coach them through? How do you be there for them as they go through old Tina, or even if they do, or if they don't, how do
Oh,
you be there for them?
oh, I love that. The thing I'm trying to do, like, is keeping in mind, it's so funny because I think the only way you can get that scenario that you just described, like get the result you want, is to be thinking of that end result like
Hmm.
when they're born. And like be intentional about the type of like safety and attachment that you're
Hmm.
cultivating, like the type of health, like there's different attachment styles, but like which attachment style you're like relinquishing to your children. And so for me,
Hmm.
with my kids, I need
Hmm.
them to know two things that I believe will keep us in a healthy space when they get older and get to that point, which is one, mommy's number one job is to keep you safe.
Hmm.
So when bad shit happens or you're not feeling safe, you can always come to me and you're never going to get in trouble. Never,
Yeah,
ever. Like, and I have to honor that. Like, just to
that's sweet.
come to me with crazy shit,
Yeah,
and it's been
it's hard.
crazy. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I just took the scissors and cut bangs on my little
right.
baby's hair on the 2-year-old, and I also cut bangs in the back of my neck. Aren't bangs back here, mommy? I did right, and I can't be like you could be in
Right.
trouble, but I have to,
Hmm.
So then it's that, and then it's also knowing that they can come to me to address real life problems. So like to help them think through it and fix it or address it. And so like we had a situation this school year. So Kayla takes the bus and she's 5. Okay, she's
Wow.
like an older soul in her heart. She started pre-K at 3. She's the
Oh
youngest
wow.
in her class. She's super freaking smart. She's just like she knows she wants to be a surgeon. She wants to be an OBGYN surgeon and a doula. And
Oh
she's
wow.
also going to be a farmer and have a farm and be a dancer, a
And she
ballet
reads
dancer.
Shakespeare and she
Exactly, and a chef. She's got lots of things. And guess what? I told her, mommy's a multi hyphenate. You can be a multi hyphenate. Do
there you
you?
go.
Okay. So she's riding the bus, like she's riding the bus, and it's cool. It like picks her up in front of the house, whatever. And she's getting off the bus. And at the time, my best friend, one of the people I was telling you about, she lives down the street. Our kids are around the same ages. This is my girl. She like had her kids off, and Kayla was still on the bus, and I saw this face on her, and I knew something was terribly
Mhm.
wrong. Like I knew it. Like she was like stunned. She looked like something bad happened to her, and so I like get on the. My friend was like, "Do you want to act like? Do you want to check in?" She laughs to this day. Like I might have threw her out of the way. Like pushed through my friend. I like go on the bus. And I'm taking
Where's it
names, and
at?
I
Where's
said,
it at?
"Kayla,
Where's it
what
at?
happened?" I said, "God," the bus driver's talking to me, and I'm like, stop talking. And I'm like, Kayla, what happened to you? And she tells me, and she looks at this little boy and says, he just punched me, mommy.
Oh wow.
And I said, what did he do? And then the bus driver, then I look at the bus driver and I said, what happened? And the bus driver's like, well, and it's like, to be fair, that poor bus driver has like 40 fucking children, or I
Yeah,
don't even know
yeah,
how many
yeah.
children are on the bus. Like he's trying to do it all. He was wonderful. He was helpful after the fact, but he told me what he saw. And then I was like, okay, cool, not helpful. Kayla, come with me. I'm gonna fix this and I'm gonna take care of this situation. And I look at the boy that did it to her. I look him in the eyes and he's like looking at me, like trying to kind of smile, whatever. And I just gave him a
Uh,
death stare, straight death stare, just so he knows that I know that I'm watching his ass. Okay. And shit's going to be coming for him. We'll see. So I told Kayla, I pulled her off the bus. We had a long conversation about what happened, how she felt about it, what are the different emotions she's going through. Like, does she need to cry? Like, what does she need to do? Like, let's release it. Let's work through it. Let's talk through it. And then I told her, mommy's gonna fix it. Mommy's gonna deal with it. And she's like, okay. And I said, what do you need to feel better? And she's like, well, I just would, if the teachers could tell me if it was wrong or right, like I would feel better. And I was like, well, boys are never allowed to punch you, and it's wrong. Mommy's going to fix it, and the teachers will be telling you what happened and that you were in the right. So she's like, okay, whatever. Like, I believe you. So the next day, your mom, your girl, went to fucking Capitol Hill, got online with the fucking principal, talked to him what went down, set the report in motion, got everything figured out, got her bus seat moved. She doesn't sit by that joker anymore. She got a new seat, and all of the staff and the school talked to her and had a conversation with her and said, Kayla, that's not okay. They all checked on her. The counselor checked on her, which I requested. He was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, you can talk to her, but not about trying to like read the report. I gave you the report. Okay. You can go look
right.
at the video camera on the bus if you have questions. But what I want your counselor to do with my child is to talk to her about her feelings. How is she feeling? How did that make her feel that a boy hit her? Is that okay? Is that the type of way we interact with each other in relationships? Like, that's what he can talk to her about. So we set a plan. And when she came from for school, she was a different kid and said,
Oh wow.
mommy, all the teachers told me like that's not allowed to happen to me, which is giving her agency, which is what I wanted to happen for her. That's not okay for him to do that. We don't do that. Those are against our code of conduct at our school. This is not how we behave and treat each other. And like, she's like, Mr. Muir, the counselor, like talked to me, and like we had a good talk. And then the boy had a report and got suspended and like all this other shit,
Oh wow.
which whatever, which because it's not okay. Like, we're not going to be
Mhm.
setting the principle, the precedent that little boys get like punch up on girls like in
Right.
kindergarten.
Right.
Full stop. So all that to say, James, like, how am I going to do it? Is like I had to show up on the court today. I got to show up on the court today with Kayla, and she has to know that I will keep her safe. That's my job.
Mhm.
And that when shit hits the fan, you can come to me. I'll help you. I will talk to you about what's going to make you feel better, what's going to feel good in your body, not what I want to do and how I want to like scorch earth and set the fucking world on fire, but like
Hmm.
what's going to actually change the tides for her and show
Right.
her that I will do that for her in life. And that's like one example of multiple examples that like we work on and we talk about together, so that she can know that she can come here for that
Right.
when she gets older, you know.
That's dope. That's really powerful. And for me, I know I can go to bat for a kid and be there and support him. I didn't learn how to create space for them emotionally because I don't feel like my parents created space for me to emotionally be like, okay, now what happened, what's going on. It
Yep.
was just my parent coming in and, okay, now you need to do this and you need to do that. Because just that just wasn't how I was raised, and I don't think a lot of people was raised where feelings and things was considered. It was like, all right, who getting spanked, who getting put on punishment, who
Yep.
got to do this, who got to do that,
Yep.
who what has to be done, not what was felt. So being able to give a child emotional space, it's coming from a place of me having to do my own work and my own healing and have my own experience of giving myself space emotionally, because a lot of times I want to go straight to sit down, shut up, do this, do that, because I told you so, because I'm an adult, because that's what I was told and that's what I experienced. But it is taking that step back and like, no, 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 no. Before we get into that, how are you feeling? Why did you say this? Why was this done? What was the experience? What's going on now? How are these things? Like you said, creating that space, because me not having space to come to my parents and talk to them about things and going into lying, going into being, oh, I can't tell my stuff,
Yep.
my parents anything, because it was always crazy, um, to be able to. It was always crazy seeing other kids have a relationship with their parents that was different than just sit down, shut up, do this, do that. You know what I mean?
100%.
So, how are you able to create that for your child when I'm assuming you didn't have that for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like I have to do the work for me. Like it literally starts and ends with me. It's like the
Right.
relationship I have to me, Tina, is the relationship I'm going to project outward to really everybody in my life, which of
Hmm.
course would include my children. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And so if I'm not talking to myself nicely and not like having discernment within myself of like, Tina, what are you feeling right now? Like why did you just um slam that like milk carton down on the counter and like kick the trash can over? Like why did you do that? Like Nate
Right.
just asked you if it was Wednesday. Like
Right.
I don't know if that reaction matches the scenario, you know? And like having the wherewithal to be like, let me peel that back, because what I've noticed with children is that's where you, like you said, you have the meaningful impact, and they get to an age like certain kids are just too smart. Like Kayla's emotional intelligence is like far above her age, and it always has been. And so I could never just get away with because I said so. Like I wish, like there's times where it's
Mhm.
like do it, like we just do
Yeah.
it. Like you just have to do it. Like someone's running into the street, like someone's
Right.
doing something dangerous, someone's got a knife, I don't know, some crazy shit's going on, and you just need to go there, and there's no time to be like, well, how do you feel? Like there's just
Right.
no
Right.
time for
Right.
that. Um, but I think the most important thing is like understanding that type of conversation and relationship back within me. Because I think that's one of the things I learned through my own experience. I think it was clarified for me because I was estranged from my parents. So I don't have them to lean on. I don't have that safety net. In a way, I'm like, really, we're all on our own, whether we want to believe it or not. Like, okay,
Hmm.
like we all come in on our own, we leave on our own. And so that really got solidified with me because I had that disconnect with my parents that, like, okay, it's really you. And then in
Hmm.
therapy and work and healing and trying to teach myself in this space and trying these different alternative spaces of like acupuncture, meditation, healing, like all these different things, I really learned that it all starts and ends with self, like the
Hmm.
self, like your true self, and like finding that space within you and things that light that up, and finding ways to connect back in with that, and also appreciating the fact that I am human and I'm going to be through a range of emotions all day long. I'm going to have multiple emotions. I'm going to have one, two, three, then I'm going to have none, like, and everything in between. And that's okay. But like you said, James, we're not raised like we have three chocolate beauties here on this call. Okay. Like on this live stream, and our, that's what you're describing is part of the aftermath of systematic oppression. Okay, like the people
Hmm.
in our communities, we weren't in a space where we had these privileges to be in a healthcare system, to do these like secondary, like I don't believe mental health is secondary, but just I'm just describing it in the
Hmm. Hmm.
infrastructure that our healthcare looks at it today, right? Like
Hmm.
that's was a luxury. Like you're lucky if
Yep.
you have a primary, like let
Right.
alone like and then a therapist. Like come on, people in our community aren't going to be having that because of a lot of
Right.
these things back. I mean, a lot of our families are broken because of systematic oppression and are not together. And so like I have so much empathy and I have so much space for that come from, but I also have more than that, a love within myself that like
Mhm.
I still deserve like good relationships with healthy individuals that
Right.
make me like progress in my life.
Right. Right.
So it's that balance and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what that means.
Ooh, that's powerful. I think we should name this episode Three Chocolate Beauties. I love
Three
that.
chocolate beauties, baby. HBCU
um,
bread.
right. Was there one thing you can think of that made you, because you just said something really powerful, of to understanding to know that you deserve to love yourself and to have that love? And then you also said you tried a lot of things. Was it one thing that's like, ooh, yeah, this is it. This has made me see that I deserve love. One technique, one tool, one therapy session, one, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I struggled with self-harm like a lot of my life. And like in really grappling with that, like I realized that was like part of like me not loving myself in the way that I needed to love myself. And one of the practices that um I started doing for myself to kind of change that paradigm,
Mhm.
change that narrative. Um, Outside of doing parts work, I highly recommend parts work. Like it's so helpful for
Parts work.
parts work. So parts work is um, I'm gonna text Mike after this, and you can put it in the show notes. The guy that there's a podcast, the person who's like created this format, but essentially it's this understanding that within cognitive therapy and psychology, like in that field, that our personalities are built of multiple versions of ourselves. So like if you think
Hmm.
about parts, you
Hmm.
have yourself, your true self, who you really are, right? When you feel calm and you feel inspired and you feel confident in the decisions that you're making, and you feel like you know how you feel, like you want to act in situations, that's yourself
Hmm.
coming to the
Hmm.
table, right? Your true self. But like there's all these other parts of you. Some of them have been created since we were children to
Hmm.
protect us, right? There's protective parts because things were too much for us to deal with, or you experienced a really high level trauma, or all these different scenarios. Then there's just parts that just come up that are like because of things you've seen around in your life, like parents, other people in your community. And so almost think of it as like a conference table, like you have a boardroom, okay? And your highest self is at that table. But you have all these other parts in your body and in our brains, in our like psychological ecosystem that
Hmm.
like to sometimes step up like they're the only part and
Right.
drive the fucking car and
Hmm.
speak for you and make decisions for you. And I didn't even know any of these things until I started diving into this work. Like these
Hmm.
parts were driving the wheel and
Yeah.
making life decisions for me. And it
Hmm.
wasn't myself. That's why I felt so disconnected. I was
Right.
living life and I just felt like a zombie almost. I felt like I was so disconnected from this thing. But it was because I had all
Hmm.
these other parts and didn't know how to find myself, my true self. And
Hmm.
so one of the things that has been helpful is changing kind of the conversation I have back in my head
Mhm.
daily, and having
Mhm.
more positive conversations and talking to people. I did this like really cool, like, I think you would call it like, what's it called, where they, like
Mhm.
hypno kind of body therapy, and I met myself, my truest self.
Mm.
Like, I could tell you like what she looks like, she
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
she looks like, where she lives, and her vibe. And she was so kind and so loving and so understanding and so empathetic, and non-judgmental, and
Mhm.
just in a moment where you feel like you fuck up. Like, this is an example of how I've tried to have this different conversation with myself. Okay, I'm late to school. I'm late to school in the morning because I like took a 30-minute shower, and I knew I couldn't even take a 10-minute shower, but I just
Mhm.
like selfishly did that for myself. And instead of telling myself, Tina, what the fuck? Why'd you take that shower? How dare you? Like, you're such a fuck up. Like, you got the kids late. You probably have them late every single day, and like going on this
Mhm.
diatribe of negativity and this negative conversation in my head back to me, is I'll say to myself, damn, that's a bummer. Let's do better next time. You know what,
Right.
Tina? You're a good mom. Good job showing up for yourself. You probably needed that self care moment. Maybe you didn't need it right then. That's okay, though. Like, go
Mhm.
you. You're doing a great job. And like bringing that conversation, like in my head silently, like it's
Mhm.
just me and myself, and having more of those reinforces that inner love and reinforces that self love for myself, versus anything different than that.
Right. And that takes a lot of practice for me because it feels unnatural because I'm so used to beating myself up.
Yep.
I'm so used to being hard on myself. I'm so
Yep.
used to now you should have gotten that shower and got out of there and did
Yep.
that and you should have took the shower last night and then
Yep.
start building those reasons of why I should continue to degrade and beat up on myself. And yeah, it takes a lot of practice and like you said, putting myself in a lot of positive relationships where I don't continue to feed that negative talk within myself because it's
Exactly.
very easy for me to go there and stay there in that place, um, and and to glorify the person that steps up and beats up on myself. Oh yeah, that's how I got through college. That's how I got this job. That's how I got that. But I continue to beat
Mm-hmm.
up on myself. Like this was the person who I owe all this to, the person that continues to beat up on me. And it's like, no, that's not it.
No,
That is not it. Um, did
it's a
you listen to
million ways.
the Kendrick and the Drake beef?
Tell me, because I don't even know what the beef's about, y'all. Like, I need a full update. Bring me up to speed. Like, I had to disconnect from some of the news because it was
Yeah.
literally depressing me. Okay, so what's their issue? Because they're two winners. Why are they
They're,
fucking hating each other?
it's I so Kendrick Lamar didn't like how Drake came into the music industry and just kind of used other people's style and other people's expression and kind of co-opted it and just put it out as his own kind of pop music brand. And he felt like Drake represented, colonialism. He
Okay.
felt like Drake represented just the machine within itself. But he had one of the disses was what you just said, where he was like, "Yeah, you need to do some ayahuasca. You need to do some serious soul searching because you don't know who you are." And who you're representing yourself is damaging not only to you, but to the people that listen to your music. So, as
Yeah.
you talk about that, being able to look at yourself, look at those people who stand up and represent you, go into those dark spaces within yourself and really identify who you are. It is not only for you, but it's also for your children, it's for your community. It is work that needs to be done for the people in your life, or more importantly, for yourself. And Kendrick breaks it down artistically and creatively on, hey man, you could go to therapy, but you might need a little bit more because it's so as you were talking about acupuncture and
Yes.
parts therapy and research and reading and going to hypnotherapy and past life sessions and
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. Like it's a practice, it's an ongoing practice, a lifelong practice. And for me, there's been some points where it's like I thought all I had to go all I had to do was go to this sweat lodge and I was gonna come out and be better and be like,
Mm-hmm.
all I gotta do is go to this yoga class or let me travel over here and go to this 10-day meditation retreat and I'll be fixed. It's like,
Yes.
nah, you may have been able to see who was all at the table, but you still, when that person sit up, you gotta tell
You
them
got to
sit
wrangle them
down.
forever, and they
Yeah,
never leave. I mean, like
they
that's
don't
the
leave.
part of parts work too. Is like we're not trying to get rid of the parts. I mean, you can't. They're part of
No,
you. Like
they're part of
you
you.
have to embrace them. You know, just
Hmm.
like in like embrace all the pieces of yourself. And like you said something, I don't want to walk away from that. I thought was important, which was this is the voice that got me to these things. This is the thing that got me here. And like honestly, I'm not your therapist, but we're getting into it here. Like
Mm.
I felt like when I heard you bringing that voice to this conversation, that was your parents.
Hmm.
It seemed very similar to the same like I'm making a decision, you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this because of that. And it's just important like to be able to like name and visualize who these parts are too,
Hmm.
because then it like takes some of the pressure off. It's like I
It
think
does.
when you see that, you're like, I'm a grown ass man. They don't control my life anymore. Like, thank you. Thank
Right.
you. No, thank you. I got
Right.
it. I got it.
Oh man, yeah. Whenever I do something, I will. All right, George. My dad's name is George. So, all right, I see you, George.
Okay. There it
I
is.
see you, Cookie.
Cookie and George.
Cookie and
Yes. Cookie
George.
and George. I remember that. Yes. Love that.
Cookie and George. Yeah.
Cookie and
So,
George. Mikey, I feel like we took over. Where you at?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where you at, Mikey?
No, I'm just here. I'm just present.
You chilling.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Okay, good. Good, good, good.
So good to. I can't even say catch up because once I feel like once people tap in energetically and stuff at 17, that energy and stuff still carries the 37, 20 years ago.
Right?
Um, but just, understanding this is where you are along your journey and being able to appreciate and being able to share where I'm at along my journey and be like, okay, yeah, we've been going on this journey. You've been going on your journey in that way. I've been going on my journey in that way, but we still been going on a journey. So I think everybody who chooses to go on their journey, and everybody got their journey, whatever it looks like. It could be 20 years of being in stuckness and kind of being in that place, or it could be 20 years of going all over the world, you know, still being stuck, but you're moving in another way. So I think everybody's journey and stuff looks different, and to be able to connect and um, it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and chocolate beautiful.
Good. That's the goal. I mean, if people take nothing else from this live stream, I want you to take away like this is the power of healthy, positive, loving connections. Like, we've all known each other, like we were saying, since we were babies. We were all little children, and we didn't know who and where we were going to land in this world, but we knew that we loved each other's energy. And, like, you can just see, like, the support. Like, if you don't have a place where you can talk about these things like we've talked about these things, that you can be open and be yourself, then you need to really reconsider who you are keeping in your community. And if
Mhm.
there's not a way for you to cut all of them out tomorrow, like I know not everybody can be so like, hardcore like that, but you can Machiavellian and just be like, you're gone.
Yeah.
But you could still find new communities, right? That is part of the beauty of social media.
Yeah.
Truly, is you can find spaces, you can find communities where you can feel seen, you can connect. If you aren't in a safe environment or you don't have a space where you can do that. So that's my challenge to everybody, and we're not ending or anything right now, but that's just like
Right.
the challenge I
Mhm.
want people to take away to go do for themselves.
I do have a
And
question for y'all.
I,
Just because
I just,
I'm
I,
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I just want to add to that challenge. What are you giving people? Because if you continue to show up in the same way, you're gonna keep getting the same people and the same results. So what are you giving people when you are showing up in these
Yep.
new relationships. You can go to a whole new support group online. You can start going to a whole new kind of place in your city. But if you
Mm-hmm.
keep showing up the same way, you're gonna get the same thing in a different place. So what are you giving?
Facts.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I'm curious to know, like, for all of us, because we do insert ourselves in community, but we are also community builders. Like, we are finding those people that we want to connect with. What advice would you give to people for building community when it's not there, when it doesn't exist for you?
Mm. You answer it first, Mike Brown,
Honestly, for
because you are
me,
very good at this.
I appreciate that. It's been very much so like just almost like putting a bat signal out of like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm going
Mhm.
through. Um, where y'all at?
Yeah, yeah,
Come find me, y'all. This is where I stay. Come get
and
me.
and I think just through like the authenticity and the vulnerability, like it's drawing people in of like, people that are feeling those same things or going through those same experiences. And you just start connecting with people more, having more conversations. And you fuck around and you got 2,000 people listening to you every week.
I love that. That's amazing. You have
it
2,000
is.
people listening to you every week, Mikey.
I have 4,000 subscribers between Apple and Spotify, but who's counting?
Hey,
I
hey,
am, because
hey,
that's a flex. That's a flex. That's a flex. I
That's
like
real.
it.
That's
That's what's
real.
up. I like
Yeah.
that though. I like that because what that brings up for me, Mike, is like um there's so much conversation around like people who are, I know this is like not quite where we're going on this conversation, but like people who are not building on community in the right way. And it really is about authenticity. It really is about being vulnerable. Like gone are the days where people love and follow people like for real that aren't really about it. They're not really saying anything real or from the heart. They're not really showing up authentically. Like I feel like the pandemic, has now forced us all, required us all to like want that realness, that connection, because all connection got like taken from us,
Right. Right.
depending on how hardcore your experience was in the pandemic. But like, I love that because it's missing. And when you feel it and you see it, you're like, yes, I want more of that. I want more of this. Show me more of these type of people.
Right.
It almost feels like the Matrix, where like there are people seeking realness and there are people that are just okay being
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
other side of it. And
Well said.
I feel drawn to the realness, so I'm hoping that that's what I'm bringing in with my community.
Well, you are. You are. You've taught me a lot. I mean, you were my first big get. Let's not get it twisted, Mike Brown. You were. You were. Um, you've taught me
Yeah.
so much. So thank you.
I appreciate that. And I've learned a lot from you. Even sitting here on this call, I'm like, man, this feels like the start of like a mastermind. Like even if we were to just link once a month. And I've told James a couple of times just how much you supported me in my journey of like just the whole aspects of marketing and stuff like that. And I know just him being able to talk to somebody like you and also you being able to talk to somebody like him, like I would love if we just like those off camera sessions just kept it going.
Deal. Deal.
I
Deal. I'm in.
think,
I'm in.
and like you said, that's a part of building a community. People recognizing what we have to offer and what we need. It's so it's a playground right outside where I live, and I walk by and I see some of the dads, and I want to go up and talk to them and like, I need help. What y'all doing? Like, how are
Do
y'all doing this
that.
stuff? You know what I mean?
Why don't you do that? Dads will love that. First of all, let me give you a little piece, a little insight. Nobody ever thinks dads know shit. So for you to go up to a dad and be like, "You're an expert," you're going to be like throwing like a party
Right.
for their ego. And
Oh
they're going
yeah.
to be like, "Can we be friends?" Like seriously. Go do
I can
that.
see it. I can
Dads would
see
love
it.
that shit. And Dads are parents too. I'm just
As a
fucking
parent too.
around, okay? But like seriously, society really doesn't give them as much credit as they
No.
deserve. So I think you should do that because people will be really receptive of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question for James. Is there fear in like accepting like being a dad, stepdad, or like whatever the title is, but just being a fatherly figure in this person's life?
That's part of the reason why I don't go talk to other dads, because it's like, oh, I'm not that, I'm not a dad, and I'm not ready for it. I'm terrified of it. I'm horrified of being in that space because it's still some of those other parts of me are like, yeah, you're not a dad. You not that ain't you. You know. So it it trips me out. Like I said, when I see him uh, be a, when I see him express something that I know I did, that I know he learned from me, and it trips me out when he's like, oh, I missed you, and hey, and coming up, and I'm like, oh gosh, and I didn't grow up with a very affectionate father, and this kid is super affectionate, and he is forcing me to be different as a person. Like he's forcing me to be a father because of what he needs. He doesn't need me preaching to him and having the quick anger and stuff. He needs like some real love. And he a kid. He got some special kid needs. Like he needs a lot of love and a lot of attention. Um, And so he is pulling so much out of me that is still terrifying to me because it's stuff I didn't know was in me. Like you said, that transformative power of love, where he is making me be a different person. And it's just scary in general, um, to become. The evolution process is just scary. And it's like he's a big catalyst in me becoming a different person. So it's terrifying. um I'm wearing dad jeans, I'm wearing dad shoes, I'm wearing dad hats. I'm like, oh, what is he doing to me? Oh my gosh, what is going on here? um
Yes.
because it's a big part of who I thought I was. One part of me is like, oh yeah, I'm cool this way, and my independence, and I have my whole schedule, or it's me for about 20 hours a day. Then I got 4 hours to give the other people. But now he's like, nah, I'm gonna need a good, you know, 28 of those hours out your day, if
Yep.
not physically there, mentally in your space. Like I said, I had a conversation with an insurance person, and the conversation was totally different when talking about, oh, are you with the partner and they have a kid and stuff. It's like, oh, you got to consider these things. It's not just about you. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
about what you want and what's going on in your life now. Like your life and your actions impact another person, and that is very terrifying to me because I associated freedom. I'll talk about feel free to feel free. I associated freedom with, I can just do whatever I want, go whatever I want, whenever I want to. But now it's like, no, freedom. Your freedom impacts other people. Your freedom is modeling for another person. Your freedom has emotional impact and everything like that. So it's really helping me to redefine what freedom is and how I want to show up in this world now that this child is has already looked to me as a model of how he's going to become an adult, how he's going to treat his mother, other women, how he's going to treat himself, because I see how much it affects him if I don't have time for him or if I respond in anger and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this has implications on him. I got to go and talk to him. I got to go and listen to him. I got to go there and be there for him in a way that I didn't have. So I also have to let that go because I'm mad. I'm thinking, man, I didn't get that as a kid.
I know.
So
That's
I got to give
real.
it to you. And it's like, yeah, you a grown ass man. You need to let that go. It's okay.
It's okay.
And it's okay. You can give it to him. You can talk to and be there for him, even if you didn't have it because you know it. You have the skills. You have the information. And now it's time for you to show up and be there because he's 7 years old. So he had nothing to do with you not getting what you felt like you needed as a kid. Hey, that ain't got nothing to do with him. Show up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's terrifying, Mike. It's very scary. Long story short, you know. Um, and I still, like I said, my independence and my freedom still has a certain look to me. in my mind, it's like, yeah, I'm about to be traveling the world and doing this and doing that. And so I see these fathers out there, and I'm like, man, I don't want to get a dad gut. I don't want to be like,
You don't
I'm a
have
dad.
to. There's some fine ass dads out there that travel, do shit with the
Yeah,
kids, bring the
yeah,
kids. That's
yeah.
just it. Is like there's a selflessness that's like forced upon you in parenthood that it's palpable. It's insane. It's like you can't beat it, and it comes for you whether you want it or not to come for you. But you're right. It is this responsibility of like how do you want to build it for them? It's really like if you get to build a city, like how do you build it? It can't be based off of like these old views. Like those should, influence how you want to show up, but it's like how do you want to show up for this kid? It has to be like an independent vision of what the child deserves, how you want to, connect in with that world with them. But I think for you, like prompt like a prompt for you would be like what do you really need to be free of? And then how do you redefine how you can get that in your day? And it may only be 15 minutes now. So like traveling the world may not be it, but like maybe you get like a day every other week where you go somewhere new close to you by yourself.
Hmm.
Like and explore. Like how do you build that into your life? It's a complete redefining moment for you. You have to live differently. That's why postpartum doesn't just impact moms, it can impact dads too, right? Because
Definitely,
everybody's
definitely.
life is completely flipped on its head, whether you like
Hmm.
it or not. And you have to completely live in a different way. And then you also have somebody that needs you 24/7 and they need things. And it doesn't matter if you're tired or you don't feel good or you're sick or you got shit to do. They don't care. They don't
Right,
care. They're like little energy gremlins, They're just like, give it,
right.
give it, give it, give it, give it. But I do think you getting more community of people living the life you're living will be very powerful for you. Like the dads, like just let that be the start. These don't have to be your dad friends for keeps. Just like get in there. And then you're going to meet other dads. Like my mom friends now that are my mom friend people are not my first mom friends that I met. Like I had to like cultivate and learn, but I didn't learn that until I just started like meeting some moms and we're like, well, that's not the type of mom I'm going to look for. I think I got to look in this place for a type of mom that's my type of vibe, and stuff like that. Oh shit, my husband's calling me. I don't know why. That's weird. Decline. I love you. But I think that is like a challenge for you, James. I think it's going to
It
really
is.
really help you because you're stuck in this old narrative that's not your reality. And the more you can have people alongside you in your new narrative, it's going to make acceptance a little bit of a friendlier pill to swallow, which is what I think is going to be your freedom. Is like accepting and then redefining like this new norm for yourself and being happy with like all these new things that are coming for you, these new experiences, these loving experiences, like these beautiful moments that all come from these kids. They're magic. They are like
Yeah.
really magic. And even some days I only get 2 seconds of magic, and that's okay. And some days I get all day of magic, and some days I get no magic. It's just shit. But that's parenthood, y'all. Sorry to break it to you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I I think you're absolutely right. I think I have still been looking for my own magic myself. Like, oh, I still want the magic of being a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 12-year-old. That thing is gone. It's gone,
Gone.
it's gone, it's
Long
gone.
gone.
You know what I mean?
Long,
It's
long
like
gone.
man up and, magic. And that I throw the word man up out there
Yeah, I don't like that man
specifically.
up because I don't subscribe to not the term but the
Hmm.
notion that you are supposed to. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's
It's hard.
hard. It's not supposed to be some like friendly transformation. You don't just like become a non-parent and buckle up
Hmm.
into the sea. That's like my whole brand. It's a sanitized imagery. The world has fucked your head up and made you believe that it is going to be this thing that's so easy to digest and to go through. It is hard. It is
Right.
so hard. And society has made it even harder because there's actually no resources for us, and there's not a lot of like readily available education for parents and all these things. So it's really a mind fuck. But I want you to know it's supposed to be really hard. But that's why you got to get other people like those dads, even the dads with the dad good. There's hella cool nerdy dads out there.
It is.
Shoot, shout out to dads with dad bods. Shout out to them. You know? Okay, so like just
Yeah.
get in there because I think you will find support, people that are understanding. Like even Mike, I love Mike, but Mike's not a dad.
Right.
True.
Like so, and that's not a slight on Mike. Like there's only like I'm not an LGBTQIA plus person. Like there's certain things I cannot speak to of Mike's experience, which is why he has to build the communities outside of even our group for
Mhm.
his nurturing. And so do you. And so do I. Like I have mom friends, but you need dad friends because you are a dad.
Mm.
I see all the discomfort floating through.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
It's okay. That means you're about to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
Man,
it means.
Yeah. It
That's
definitely
okay.
does.
It's okay to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Change is uncomfortable,
it is.
you
And
know?
it challenges it, like I said, it challenges my narrative of who I think I am. Because for me to be a dad, it feels like, oh no, that's not a part in there. Like you know, it feels like something that is beyond me, but it's there. I've been doing it. It's definitely there and stuff. And even the question of, like you said earlier, being a CEO, being a father or mother of a company and stuff like that, struggling for me, like, oh, can I do it? But then you end up, you just do it. So yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable thinking of myself as someone's father, uh, and it forces me to continue to deal with my own father wounds. It's like, oh, that's
I
there.
know.
You got to look at it. That's there. You got to
You
work it
have
out.
to look at it because you get triggered. Like
She's
that's what
very
was
triggered.
happening for me is I was getting triggered on repeat with my own children, like daily.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh my, like I was remembering things I didn't even remember had happened to me because
wow.
the body is like that. Like they say, the body keeps score. The
Want
body
to keep the
always
score.
remembers. Like I mean, that's probably what Kendrick's point is. Is like
Yeah,
Drake, you got some
you
backlog
got
in
some
there.
stuff back
You're
in
gonna
there.
need to do more than one method because
Yeah,
you're trying to like eradicate so much stuff. But um I think it would be healing for you to look at your dad wounds, it sounds like.
definitely,
And
definitely.
to like be accessing the freedom of healing from that
Hmm.
or begin healing from that.
And that's a continuous thing. Like me and my dad, we've been building on that relation. I love my dad. We have a great relationship, and it's still things there. And my mom too. It's still things there. It's going to be a ongoing thing. They're getting older. I'm getting older. Moving into a space now where I have children. And like I said, my girlfriend's son, he was not born to me. He was not born to her. He's she adopted him. So we
Oh
both kind
wow.
of got him in, and it's kind of, it's a bigger picture, the whole bunch of stuff, everything kind of in there. So it's not like, oh yeah, this is my kid. We had sex and now I have a kid, but he's my kid
He's
still,
your kid.
regardless, because of the relationship. So it's still me wrapping my mind around that because it's not traditional for me.
Yeah.
Of this is I was there when he came home from the hospital and everything. I remember the day I met him. He came into my place, and it was an instant connection. It was instantly like, this he got me.
Oh,
He got me. Um,
see?
so it's
I'm
like,
surprised he ain't pop on screen with you yet.
I don't
Right.
know.
No, you'd be
He
good
gonna
for a
be,
pop in.
yeah. He
Hi.
right.
Hi. Can can you can you see me?
It's like
Can you see me? Am I
exactly.
there?
Who was that? What's your name?
Who
And
are
it more
you?
so started at like
Oh,
What'd
there
you
it
say?
is. There it
I
is.
said it start with that like
There's a
Yep,
purple
kind of just
shoulder
shoulder.
looking in.
shoulder
Yeah.
in.
There's a
Who,
t-shirt.
who in there?
Who's over there in that
Right,
purple shirt? I
right.
love it. I love you all. This has been so fun. Thank you
I
so
know.
much for having me and for allowing me to come chop it up with you all. Like, this has been so amazing. I'd love to come back if I'm
For
invited
sure, for sure. And
to
we
Look
also
come
have
forward
a
back.
to
five rapid fire question
Okay,
for you.
I'm ready.
You
5,
want to start, Jay? What, how many was it? I forget.
3.
Okay, three. You start, James. And actually, we all do them, so
Okay,
we can go in a circle.
cool.
All right. Building a business or building a family, which is harder?
Wait, we all answer it?
No, just you.
No, that's for you.
Just me? Okay.
Yeah.
Building a business and building a family, which is harder?
Or why? What are the
They're just
differences?
different hards.
Hmm.
I mean, they're both hard. They're both challenging. Um, you know, I think they're both very difficult, but I would say at the end of the day, like building a family is a harder charge to go after because I can turn off the business. And frankly, I can shut the business down if I'm fucking done with it. Like if the challenge is too much for me, then I can quit and be out. There is no quitting like with the family.
Yeah.
You know, you're in it 24/7 all day every day. So, I guess I'm going to change my vote to building a family. Sorry.
Right.
That's my vote.
And
That's
it's
my
for
vote.
eternity, like you said. It's until you
It's
die. The
forever.
family's there.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm creating what's happening for Kayla for the next generations and the next generations and the next generations and the next generations, like how she's going to be and see the world. So you're right. It's forever.
Forever. Forever.
Forever. Forever.
Oh man.
I got one
That's
for
one.
you.
Yeah.
Seafood, Maine or New Orleans?
That's a good one.
Maine.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Like I like golf. I like golf seafood, but like in general, like there's only like 2 3 things that are better there. Like what, crawfish, and crawfish, but like other than that, like lobster, like I definitely would prefer a cold water like New England lobster, scallops. Like there's so much seafood that like I'm missing in the New Orleans vibe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like where I can have all these other things, but they're yeah, I love like Gulf shrimp. I love like certain things. So Maine. Sorry, y'all. Maine.
And you have the lobster rolls up there.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
no New Orleans lobster roll. And let's be honest, I would never trust a lobster roll that will ever get made for me in the NOLA. Like, are you kidding? Like,
Oh
I
man.
don't trust it. We
Hot
couldn't.
sausage sandwich.
You know, exactly. Oh, I love me a po' boy, though. Trust it. Hot sausage sandwich. Yes.
Oh man. Um. All right. Here's another question.
Okay.
Uh, Farming or school. Farming or school. I know it's a little different, but
Like, would I rather go to school or like tend to a farm?
hmm.
Tend to a farm.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tend to a farm.
Because you have your MBA.
No.
No. Okay. You have
No.
you went. You got some more schooling though.
No, just 4 years. That's it. Just my little four
Okay.
years I did with
Ah.
y'all. Just my little 4 years, y'all. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's all she wrote. I school is not for me. Mm-mm.
So
No.
you just like climb the ranks. Is hard work.
Hard work, believing in myself, and doing what I felt like I needed to do, despite society believing in it. So yeah, no MBA.
Where, that was one of your questions though. Where do you get your confidence from?
Where do I get my confidence from? You know, it's funny. People always tell me that I'm like super confident. I don't know what it is. I think you know what it is? I really believe in my own taste.
Mm.
Who's that dude, that producer? My friend just told me about him. Rick? What's his name? Rick Flair? Not Rick
Rick
Flair.
Rubin.
Oh, Rick
Rick
Rubin,
Rubin.
yeah.
There it is. Rick
Hmm.
Rubin. Rick Flair. Who is that? I don't even know who that is. My bad. Rick Rubin. Same thing. It's like I just feel like I know like I feel like I have good taste. Like, and maybe I don't, but I believe I do. And I
Mhm.
believe like I can say what a good brand looks like, what a good fashion can look like, what style looks like. And so I just rep what my own taste is, really. And I like my taste and I feel like I feel good about it. So I think that's just where it comes from. It's not like I go out and I have like a different mindset. It's just that like I like my taste and I think I have good taste and I kind of believe in my taste and so I just like reflect that out to the world. And it's for them to take or leave. Sorry. Sorry world. Sorry
That's
not sorry
powerful.
actually.
Mhm.
Sorry not sorry.
I know this is supposed to be three questions, but how do you pass that on to Kayla and what was your other daughter's name?
Zuri.
Zuri. How do you pass that to
Zuri.
Kayla and Zuri?
Oh, I have to let them self express. And I always remind them that everybody's artwork is gorgeous. So like when Kayla tells me, "Oh my god, I really like do you like this painting I did or do you like this outfit I put on?" Okay. First and foremost, I will always ask, "Well, how do you feel about it, Kayla? Do you like your outfit? Do you feel fly? Do you feel cute?" And if she's like, "Yeah, mom, I'm vibing. I like it." Then that's what matters most. And then sometimes she'll still be like, "Well, what do you think?" And I'll just support it. Looks great. Look at you. You know, like, and I've always done that. All their art they've ever done, I've always just been like, yes, it looks great. Like you're expressing yourself. Like if this is how you want to, like, maybe I wouldn't draw the fish with like dirt and not a
Mhm.
crayon. Like there's a crayon right here. You don't want to use a
Mhm.
crayon? Okay, cool. You want to use natural elements for your artwork? Roll in there. Do it, girl. All you. I'm about it. You about it? I'm about it. So that's kind of how I always try to deal with them. It's just like inspire and hype up like their own taste, their own interest, like the way they like to express or wear things or have outfits or draw or create or whatever.
That's beautiful.
That's dope. I have one more question for you too.
Okay.
Do you prefer being behind the scenes or in front of the camera?
In front. I'm the talent, but I also
Yes.
really love being behind the scenes too. Like I think my brain is very strategic. It always has been. I think one of the greatest hobbies my husband got me into was chess. So we all
Wow.
play chess as a family. Kayla's killer at chess. You'd like, don't get it twisted. She's super good at chess. And she's been really good at chess since she was 3. But we
Oh
play a lot
wow.
of chess as a family. Zuri plays, she can build the chessboard out. And so, like, my brain is always in that the game is chess, not checkers. Like, I'm always in this, like, I can't even help it. I see a brand and I can just see, like, opportunity or like how we could shape it or like maybe how we can like tighten things up so it's like getting your message out further. So it's like I can't even stop that part of me. So I have to get involved in that. But what I love to do is to be in front. Like I love to, and it's not even the attention. I just like talking with people and connecting with people, and it's just a way I can like have more conversations. Really.
So,
That's really
um,
dope.
I'm listening to Lenny Kravitz. I think it's a new book that he has out, and it's his autobiography, I believe, memoir. And he talks about growing up with Russian Jewish father and a Bahamian and African American mother, and
Mm,
his parents were about. He said his dad was 39 and his mom was 35, and they both came from the arts and from the media and space and stuff like that, and how much everybody poured into him in different ways to make him who he is, and that expression where he had that confidence in himself to be different and do things his way. And also his dad was in the military, so a lot of discipline and things in there. So it's just so interesting. I'm a Lenny Kravitz fan,
I like
and
Lenny
so
Kravitz. I love his daughter too.
oh yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
love her. Which makes me
yeah,
love him more. Like just
yeah.
that he could produce something that magical
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So it's dope to hear you talk about a lot of things he talks about made him the person that he is. Just having that unconditional love, having that space to express, having that exposure to a lot of diversity and
Yes.
different experiences and stuff. So that's dope. And you grew up in Idaho or Iowa?
Iowa.
Iowa. All right, let's get
Iowa.
those.
I know.
Go.
There's nothing interesting to that story. I was like, I don't even have a little. It's Iowa.
I just remember you were like the only black person I ever
I
knew
know.
from Iowa, and it's dope.
I love that. I love that. What's my next question?
The next question. Next question. Next question. What do you prefer, the city or the beach?
Oh, the beach. The beach. The beach. The beach. The beach. I love being in the ocean, near the water. Always have. Which is weird because it's not like I grew up around it or had any experience with it, but I always just felt so connected to it. So the beach, which was also like why I live at the water. Like I had to
Yeah.
do it because it's always called to me. So I'm
Uh,
answering
how
that call.
how close do you live to the beach?
The ocean is a 10-minute bike ride, a
Oh
5-minute
wow,
drive, 2-minute drive. I mean, it's right there, like right there. And then there's a bunch of like we could walk there or we could ride our bikes there, but it's so close.
that is so dope. That's so dope. And is it sand or is it like the rocks and stuff?
No sand. So there's like rock parts, but this is like like you've got like a proper sand beach, like the proper sand like kind of surf and stuff. Like seaweed, all this stuff. There's like rocky
That's dope.
areas you can go hit up, but our part is like a sand beach.
I don't know why. Just whenever I think about East Coast, I think about New York and buildings and stuff. So thinking about the beach, I'm like, wait, that doesn't make
You're like,
sense.
there's
But
not supposed to be a beach here. I know,
water,
I know. We have to like have it close enough, but
that's dope. That's dope. You got any more questions, Mike Brown?
No, that's all I had. If you want to ask us three rapid fire questions, you can ask us three questions.
okay, I'll do it quick because my husband is gunning for me to get back to the baby. Okay, so here's my first question. Oh, okay, I have a good question. This is a good one for both of you. Lakers or Clippers? You have to pick one.
There's no such
Lakers.
like
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Lakers. Okay, better question. That was a bad question. That was a practice rapid fire. Practice. Practice, practice. Um, because it wasn't good. Okay. Chocolate or vanilla ice cream?
Oh, okay. Vanilla. I'm not a big chocolate ice cream person.
I'm
Vanilla.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
non-dairy vanilla.
Non-dairy
yeah.
vanilla.
I'm not a big chocolate person.
Okay. Interesting.
Chocolate beauty, but not a big
Chocolate
chocolate
beauty,
person.
but
Not
not
my
for
flavor.
flavors. I
Yeah.
love it. I also would pick vanilla, but it's funny because I have two girls and one's obsessed with chocolate and one's obsessed with vanilla. Okay.
Oh, funny.
Next question. Um, okay. If you had to go on a spaceship, outer space, you had to go to outer space. Okay. Which one would you pick? Would you do Mars, knowing you'd be back to the United States or wherever we live and know within 5 years? Or would you do Jupiter? And let's pretend like Jupiter was like inhabitable. Like that's like kind of like a weird one, but like it was inhabitable and it was like safe. It was like this cool exploration of the frontier. And you could go and you could live, but you would never get to see your family members again. But you could bring 5 people with you on the journey, but because of how long it takes to get there, like it would just be about the experience, James. It'd just be about that travel to get to see something that no one has ever seen before in their life. Which one would you pick?
Between Mars and Jupiter,
Yeah.
and
Mars, you're
Mars,
back in 5 years. You get to come back and live your life. You get to explore, but you come back. And Jupiter, you never get to come back, but you get to see something you'd never see in your life, and you get to bring 5 people with you.
I'm coming back. I'm gonna go on Mars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
something always brings me back.
Okay.
Jupiter spoke to me first.
See, I knew it.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I want to come back.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I
All
love it. Okay. Now, final question. You meet an individual on your travels, okay? And this individual says, like, you bump into them on the shoulder, like walking accidentally, like just whoops.
right.
And they say, I'm going to curse you, and
Mm.
you are going to be an animal for the rest of your life, but you get a choice. You can be a lion or a shrimp.
That's hilarious.
And which one do you pick?
I'm probably gonna go lion just because I feel like shrimp life expectancy is so short.
Right.
So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
lion.
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna go with a lion. Lion are protected a lot of times. Shrimp, you gonna end up in the grocery store on some
Somebody's
ice.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough life. Okay, I just had to
Etouffee.
see where y'all's head was. To see where your head was. 'Cause you might have flipped
This.
the script and been like, "Oh, I'm a shrimp, ride or die. Let's
this.
go, let's go."
I got another quick question for you, Tina.
Okay,
Um, what do you have more feelings about, turning 40 or your daughter's going to high school?
daughter's going to high school.
Oh wow, it's
Yeah,
quick.
I am no. I'm like, I don't even know how old I am right now, James. Seriously,
Hmm.
I don't even know what year of birth I am today. So like 40, like bring it. Like I'm chilling. Like my 30s were great. I think my 40s will be better. Honestly, I'll be more in my own shit. I'll be more my own self. Hopefully my money will be even better. I can be doing more shit that I want to do. So bring it. I'm looking for it. Girls going to high school? Are you kidding me? Like the other children, bullies, identity, just like all of the things, the challenges I know, like the developmental milestones that are coming for me gives me like I'm working now. I'm working today to address high school.
Yeah,
Okay, that's how like
that's real.
nervous I am. Like trying to prepare the
That's
kids
real.
for that.
That's real.
You know?
And I appreciate what you said about age because yesterday I made peace with I'm ready to stop counting.
For what?
Yeah.
It's like
So I
for what? Like
appreciate
all
that.
the big ones are fun and gone. They're gone. Like 21 gone. 25 gone. Like 16 like I mean, I got no more awards to get by turning a certain age and I got these kids now I got to keep track of and shit, so like whatever. I ain't got no time to keep track of me. I'll celebrate. I'll celebrate annually. I do celebrate. I do try to like celebrate and honor and reflect. But I don't it doesn't matter how old I am.
Hmm.
That's
And
real.
you want more kids?
I do, but I'm scared of it like you, my friend. I'm scared. I am. I just it's so hard. I mean, I don't have a system right now where I could have three. Like I don't have the right setup, but I'm hopeful that I will. I'm going to keep figuring it out and I'm going to keep providing more space and carving more space out for myself, but um yeah, I think this last one, if there is a last one, there'll be a little bit of a gap between the kids' ages. So
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah,
That's
that's okay.
okay. I've always wanted three.
Yeah, and I like how you said having the right system. I think it's very important of how we working as a family and our systems coming together to make this thing work, where everybody can get a little, and it's not going to be fair all the time, but hey, we
We
got a
can at
system.
least we don't all get lost. We don't
We
all
don't all
lose
get lost.
ourselves. You
Yeah,
know, that's when it all fails.
yeah.
So I think having three today, that's where we would be. But hey, like if it happens, then we would deal with it just like you deal with anything else. But that's why I surround myself again with like a lot of moms that have like one of my good friends has seven. Um,
Mm.
so I sit and talk about two, and I'm like, let me sit down and be quiet, because she's running
Seven
a household
kids.
of seven, and sometimes as a solo parent, you know, because her husband travels. So I try to keep
Okay.
myself connected with other parents because I want that for myself. So I like to be seeing people work through that and not fall and not fail. You know.
I feel
Awesome.
that.
Thank you
Tina, can you
guys.
please let the people know what you got going on? What's next? James, don't forget to check out the Mother Brain episode of Rebranding Mother. Yeah, Mother
Yes.
Brain episode of Rebranding Motherhood, just to let
I
you know
will.
how the brain shifts. But Tina, can you let us know what you got going on?
Yeah, so what do I have going on? So a lot of different interesting things are going on. I'll share it here first. I'll drop it here. I just signed to do a co-host gig on PBS. So I'll be
That's
doing two
fire.
Nice.
episodes of a show on
Hey.
PBS, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited about that. And then, we're just building the brand. I'm working on more events. We're gonna have more events in real life. We're gonna have some more exciting projects coming on that I hopefully will be able to share with everybody very soon. But you're gonna be able to see me more and hopefully behind the camera. But in the meantime, you can find me on the gram at rebranding.motherhood. You'll find me in a pink hat in my little profile picture. So check me out. You can check out the YouTube. You can see my website there. That's like a great dropping zone to find all the other stuff that I'm up to cooking up. And I'm going to try to survive full custody of my children this summer because I get the kids back in the
Oh
summer.
wow.
So I'm going to be trying to, like, survive this summer. That's going to be a full time gig. So you'll find me in these streets trying to survive.
That's dope. Tina, thank you so much for coming on the
Yeah,
show
thank you,
today.
thank you.
My pleasure, my honor. Honestly, my honor. Thank you all. You started my weekend off right. This was such a great conversation, Mikey. I'm so glad we picked this date. We picked this topic. It was meant to be. It
It was.
was meant to
It
be.
was.
It's
Thank y'all
always.
so much for tuning in to Feel Free Conversations, episode 23.
23.
All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.